change my screen a little bit. So on day one, I shared with you, on day one, I actually shared with you my story, my symptoms, what I overcame and what many of my clients have overcome, because we want to make sure that you're relating, that you're feeling the same symptoms, because if you are, this information is going to help you. It's going to be really useful. Okay. Then on the second day, which was yesterday, I shared this, which was secret one, which is why relying on caffeine and sweet treats to boost your energy actually harms your longer term health. And we've had a little bit of fun along the way. So I'm sharing this free menu plan with you. So this is my stress and anxiety menu plan. So I share different bonuses with this training. So if you show up to all 4 days training, every day I'm sharing a secret letter. So collect the secret letter, which spells a word, and message me on Thursday with that word, and you can get this free bonus. So I wrote this during lockdown because I saw, yes, we're all feeling fatigued. Yes, we're feeling exhausted because there's lots of demands on us. But also, you know, this is called Fight Fatigue, Stress and Overwhelm group. I've seen a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety with mums because we've had a lot of balls to juggle, okay? So this menu plan and these foods are going to really, really help you be able to start calming down the nervous system, start to heal the gut and start to get a handle on your anxiety. So if you would like that menu plan, I'd love to share it with you. You just need to get a secret letter from each day. So I'll be sharing that in a little bit with you. I've put that little slide in to remind me so I don't forget. So as it says there, it's got 10 recipes and 5 snack recipes to support your mental health. So stay tuned if you would like that. And then today, I would love to talk to you about why healthy eating might be making you feel more tired. So this is a common thing that women come to me and say, I've tried healthy eating and I just don't feel any better. I know how frustrated I've been there and I've done that. So if you listen to any of my other days trainings, I was saying that I tried lots of diets over the years before I studied nutrition. When I wanted to lose baby weight, and I lost the weight very quickly, but I didn't feel any better. So even though I was eating lots of healthy foods, I didn't feel any better. So let me know in the comments on Facebook if that's how you're feeling. Have you tried eating more healthily but haven't felt any better? I would love to know, because obviously I'm a strong advocate of food, and I believe and know that food is very, very healing, but maybe you haven't experienced that. So let me know if that's the case for you. So healthy eating means different things to different people, of course. But what I see time and time again is women will try and include more vegetables in their diet because vegetables are so healthy for us, right? They're very healing. Most of us aren't even getting out 5 a day, let alone, you know, striving for more than that, for 10 a day. So if you've been trying something like I put there, fruit for breakfast, that's what I've seen a lot of women do, or a salad for lunch. Maybe you've had a soup for dinner, or you've tried to have a smoothie for lunch, but you just felt hungry, so you wanted to give in, and you felt more tired. So you felt like you're making all this effort and it's not helping. Let me know if that's been you before. Or maybe you've had the opposite. Maybe you've tried healthy eating. You could also share that with us in the comments, and you've noticed that it has made a big difference for you. We'd love to hear that experience as well. So I want to talk to you about what may have been going on, if this was the case for you, if you wasn't feeling good, and what we need to make sure that you're including in your diet so you are actually feeling, you know, satiated and sustained and energetic. That's what we really want, isn't it? We want the energy to do everything that we want in our life. So the first thing is, are you eating enough protein? Are you? And I'm not talking about Atkins kind of style here, so lots of red meat and cheese, that kind of old advice. Even if you're eating completely plant-based, if you're a vegan, you can still get protein, but you need to be very, very mindful of it. And I think when we eat healthily, we need to be very, very mindful of getting enough protein as well. So let me know in the comments, what do you have for breakfast? What's your normal breakfast? And just have a think for yourself, does that include any or much protein in it? I would love to know. And then, is your breakfast, again, just for you don't need to put it in the comments, but is your breakfast leaving you sustained? Like, is it keeping you going until lunch, or are you kind of feeling like you're burnt out before you actually reach lunchtime? So let's talk about protein a little bit just for a moment. So protein actually helps us build and repair tissues. It helps us to make enzymes and hormones in the body as well. So it's a really big one. I actually run this hormone balancing plan, and protein is one of the things that we need that actually help us make these hormones. And what it also does is it helps us stabilize our blood sugar levels. So we spoke about this in yesterday's training about how important that is for our mood, for our energy, to actually stabilize the blood sugar levels. And what it helps to do is regulate the release of glucose into the bloodstream. And so you won't get that like really tired feeling after eating. Have you ever had that before, when you've had a big meal and you feel super tired afterwards, you feel like you need to sleep? It also leaves us fuller for longer. So you may have heard this before, that protein leaves us fuller for longer, which means you're less likely to snack, which gets you off of that, the up and down of the blood sugar levels that we was talking about yesterday. And actually, if we're eating all the time, we're never actually resting the body, because digestion uses up a lot of our energy. So if we're eating often, we're actually sapping our energy because we keep eating. But if we keep eating and our body's not resting and repairing in between, it actually causes inflammation in the body, and inflammation turns into pain. So that's another reason why we want to cut back on the eating, and eating protein with your meals is going to help you do that. So if you haven't already, type into the comments what you're having for breakfast. I would love to know what your typical breakfast is. Let me see if anyone's sharing there now. Plain cereal and smoothie, definitely burnt out by lunch and feeling really hungry by mid-morning. Yeah, so Lynn, that's kind of showing you that that's not, a great breakfast for you. Amy is saying that she has eggs. Eggs can be a really good one. It depends if they suit you or not. So I'd say about 50% of the population are good with eggs, and the rest perhaps are not. Or porridge, but you feel like you're lacking choices at breakfast. Weetabix and fruit, says Laura, and lots of white toast. Yeah, so they're like the common British breakfast, aren't they? When we're in a run, it's a toast, it's cereal, sometimes it's grabbing some sort of breakfast bar or breakfast biscuit while you're on the run. And those things just aren't sustaining for us. And it can actually be quite hard to get out of those habits because they're so quick, and we're used to not spending any time on breakfast. But actually, just you don't have to spend a lot of time on breakfast, but just thinking about what you're going to eat and planning it and having some quick options, you're going to feel a lot more sustained going forward. So that's one of my tips, is to make sure that you're having, Polly says she's having granola and oat milk. How do you feel on that, Polly? Is that a good breakfast for you? Do you feel good on it? Our body's always giving feedback to us, okay? So we know that if we're feeling good, we're on the right track. If we're not, we need to look at it. So let me know if that's helpful about the protein. What else might have you been forgetting? Let's move on. Secret letter. Okay, grab your pens and your paper or type it into the notes section on your phone. This is your secret letter for today, and it's C. So it's C for Charlie. Your secret letter, if you're playing part of our game to get the free bonus, which is the stress and anxiety menu plan, and you'd like to grab that from Thursday. It ends on Sunday, so you can message me anytime between Thursday and Sunday with the secret word that you'll know if you're collecting these letters. So your letter today is C for Charlie. Okay, let's move on. So the other thing that I'm seeing, which is lacking in lots of women's diets, is good fats. So I have put some examples there on the screen of what the good fats are. So things like chia seeds, coconut oil, almond butter, walnuts, avocados, olives. You've got your oily fish there, flax seeds, free-range eggs. So let me know if you're including many of these foods in your diet at the moment. And typically I say no, because of the diet culture of like the 80s and the 90s of you should eat low fat because fat makes you fat. What is actually the case, and there's a lot more research around this now, and all of that has kind of been debunked now. Our body actually needs fat, and if you have not been getting enough fat in your diet, you may notice that your focus isn't quite there, or your concentration, or your memory. And the reason for that is our brain is actually made up of about 60% fat. So this is why you've probably heard in the past before that feed your children oily fish, or your mum may have tried to get you to take maybe a cod liver oil tablet or something like that when you were younger, because oily fish helps to feed the brain, right? It doesn't have to be fish, it's some of those other examples that I've put there on the screen as well. In the UK, we typically get a lot more omega-6 and omega-3. And it's the omega-3s that we need to balance the body, to balance the hormones, to help us with our brain health. And actually eating too many omega-6, which are in a lot of the typical foods that we eat, like the dairy and the meat, and all those kind of foods, it actually raises inflammation in the body. So we need to, we need to have that good balance. We actually need double the amount of omega-3 than 6 in the UK. So you need to make sure that you're eating lots of these foods, and you may need to take supplements as well. So if you're not getting enough good fats in your diet, what will happen is your body will start to crave it from what I call a convenience source instead. So if you have crisps in your cupboard, or you have cheese in your fridge, they're like the kind of quick convenient sources of fats, and they're not particularly good fats, your body will just crave it, and you'll be like, I'm, you know, a cheese monster or a crisp monster. You need that because your body is just like, I need some sort of fat, so it wants to try and get it from somewhere. So this is typical when women are eating really, really healthy all day, and then they find that they've got these major cravings in the evening, and it's because their body's not quite getting what they need, what it needs. So it's kind of sending these signals out saying, you know, I need more good fats, as an example. There's lots of things that it might need, but that's one of them. So if you are skipping like olive oil in your salad, or you know, you're not enjoying, let's say, some nuts or seeds, then it's going to be really, really hard for you to get that right balance of the good fats in your diet. Some of the other signs that you're not getting enough of the good fats are things like dry skin, flaking skin. I see dry eyes, hard time regulating your body temperature. Do you ever have that one? Let me know in the comments if you have that one. Craving sugar is a big one. I do remember when I'd done Slimming World many, many years ago, which, as I said before, it did help me lose weight. You cut out a lot of the good fats to lose weight, and I ended up craving sugar. So I've never been one to crave sugary drinks before, but I remember drinking a lot of Coca-Cola around that time. And I kind of knew, oh, it doesn't really make sense. It doesn't feel good that I'm craving Coke and allowed to drink it. But I guess it was getting me to my short-term result quickly, right? But I did know that longer term, it wasn't really, really helping me with my health. So I mentioned at the beginning, fat doesn't make you fat. Although we was told that for many years. But if you eat lots of carbohydrates with lots of good fats, you could put on weight that way. So you would be looking at cutting out maybe some of the simple carbs. So maybe like cutting down on your pasta or your bread. You have to let me know in the comments, what kind of things are you having for lunch actually? Do you feel like you're including protein? Do you feel like you're including good fats in your lunch? And where was I? Did I tell you everything I needed to tell you then? I think I did, yeah. So yeah, you need to make sure that you're including them, otherwise you're going to kind of crave other things. That's what I found personally, and that's what I've seen with lots of the women that I work with as well. So yes, let me know in the comments what you're eating for lunch at the moment. Is it typically a sandwich on the run? Are you having leftover dinner from the night before? Are you typically, when we're allowed to, are you going out and eating out and about? What is it for you? So on day one, I was telling you how important it is to stop blaming yourself, okay? So if you feel like you're not doing as good as you want to be doing, but remember, everyone's doing the best they can with what they have. But if you feel like you're not doing as good as you want to be doing, don't blame yourself, okay? Because I spoke on Monday about how important this is not to do that, because otherwise we get stuck in this cycle of blame and we can't move forward from it. We end up getting stuck. So just stop the blame if that's how you're feeling, and work out a way to move forward, okay? I also wanted to say that we didn't get this education at school, so you may never have heard any of this information before. I've put there that convenience meals are really hard for busy mums to avoid. So if you have got a very busy life and you're rushing about, you know, the supermarket are putting all these tempting offers right in front of your face, aren't they? So it's really hard not to go for that too often. So I just want to remind you to get the right balance of proteins and good fats in your meal, so you're feeling well balanced, you're not having cravings, you're not having crashes. And remember not to swap good fats for bad fats. So I know that a lot of people used to swap butter for margarine, okay? And margarine is a product that's produced chemically, and butter is very natural, isn't it? So we don't want to be enjoying we want to be enjoying butter in moderation, but it's much healthier to have a completely natural product than it is a chemical kind of product. So the body doesn't really know how to process that. And I've spoken in this group a lot of times before about your liver, but it's your liver that has to process a lot of those chemicals, and so we put a big strain on our livers, and then our hormonal balance goes out of place. So yeah, if you fuel on too many carbohydrates, so like your toast for breakfast or your cereal for breakfast, you're actually going to spike your blood sugar levels, and that's what leaves you feeling moody and impatient. So remember to include the protein and the fat. And lots of women that I speak to on the phone, they tell me that they just haven't got the headspace at this point in their life. So if they've got children, if they're working, you know, life's pretty crazy and they haven't got the headspace to be thinking, are all my meals well balanced? Well, if you work with me, that's part of what I do, is all of the menu plans are completely balanced for you. So that's not something you have to spend time and effort working out yourself. So I want to give you a couple of examples of who has this worked for. So you know that it works for real women who are just like you, and you know that it's worth perhaps making some changes so you can actually start to feel the benefits, so you can start to restore your energy, so you can start to feel less stressed, so you can start to have less cravings. So I want to talk to you about Kirsty, a lady called Kirsty that I worked with. And I mentioned, I think it was on, might have been Monday or Tuesday's training, that I always ask when people work with me, what was your hesitations in working with me? Because there's always a hesitation. You know, when you're going to try something new, there's always some sort of doubt in the first place, and that's different for everyone. So Kirsty shared with me that she felt like she had out of control cravings, and she thought that she would be judged for her cravings. And I can honestly say, like, hand on heart, as a nutritionist, that's absolutely not something that you do, because we know, and now you'll know from this training, that when you're craving things, it normally just shows that you've got an imbalance. So for me, it's very simple. Oh, you're craving, let's have a look at what's missing in the diet, rather than you haven't got any willpower and you must be really greedy. And certainly not thinking like that. You know, we're our own harshest critic, aren't we? I'm sure that you're going to agree with that one. Give your hands up in the comments if you feel like you're your own worst critic. So she felt like she had these out of control cravings and that she was weak for giving into them. But she found out that she was depleted in essential fat. So once we got them into place for her, so some of that was through supplementation, some of that was through diet, and just balancing that in a very gradual way, she found out that she wasn't craving cheese anymore, because she actually wanted to be plant-based. She was vegan, but she would crave pizzas all the time. So she'd feel like a really bad vegan that she ate pizzas, when really all we had to do was get this balance right for her. So she felt that that transformation very, very quickly, and it was like a weight off of her shoulders. So I want to share with you what happened for me when I increased my good fats and my proteins. I put there that I found that it was a real game changer, and it had a profound impact on my cravings. And I share this story where I remember this really long car journey I had, and stopping the services like you do a couple of times on a long car journey. And, you know, the kids are always really excited. Oh, services, what can we get? And my husband wanted a coffee and the kids wanted whatever they wanted, some breakfast or something like that. And my husband said to me, what do you want? And it was the first time, like without any willpower, that I just said, I don't want anything. And he's like, oh, you sure? I was like, I've got my water here, I've got my breakfast that I made for myself. This was kind of on the transition of me getting back towards good health. And I remember thinking, if I have anything from that service station, it's going to make me feel how I used to feel, and I just don't want to go back there. So this is what I'm talking about. You don't need to use sheer willpower, because that can only get you through for so far. And I'm sure that you've had that experience. When you're relying on willpower alone, it might only last normally a matter of, well, it could be hours, couldn't it? Let's face it, could be days, could be weeks, probably won't go any longer than that. So don't want you relying on just willpower. So this is what really, really changed it for me. And yeah, I remember I just felt like genuinely satisfied with what I had, and it felt very, very freeing. And I'd love that for you too. I would love for you to feel this freeing feeling of not needing, you know, constant snacks, or you know, not needing something from the petrol garage if you're on a long journey like I was. So let me know if that sounds good. Let me know if you would like to feel this freeing feeling. Type yes into the comments. And so that was a secret that I wanted to share with you today. So tomorrow I want to talk about the invisible component that could be blocking your energy. So if you feel like you've listened to like the past couple of days and you're feeling like, yeah, I've tried all that and it's still not helped me, and I still feel like I'm tired all the time and I still don't know what it is, that was the point that I was at, a very, very desperate point. And this changed everything for me in less than a week. So I can't wait to share that one with you as well. So let me know if you plan on coming back tomorrow for the last day, the last secret. I would love for you to get all of the information to help you. I'm just going to flick across again to see. Justine says, so much better than these healthy. Oh, the comment's gone. Sorry, I can only see 4 at a time. Let me just see if I can scroll up a bit. I can't get them. I can see lots of people saying yes. You're all putting your hands up, so that's great. So I would love to share that with you tomorrow. I will be back again for the last day at 12 o'clock, and then you'll have your last letter, so you can get the menu plan from me that I would love to share with you. And if you've got any any questions, do type them in the comments, and I will answer them for you. And I will try and answer them live for you tomorrow as well. Okay, see you all then. Bye.